But then what if Verdi doesn't get a chance to play and then he's loaned out?
It can move back to Bologna. Hello everybody, welcome to another FIF video. It's me, Dov, back again, wearing the same clothes as in the last video because we recorded this one straight after it. And I'm with Vieri Capretta again because he never left.
Yeah, because I never leave, because we have a very important thing to talk about. It's been in the media a lot in recent days in Italy. Simone Verdi saying no to Napoli.
Yeah, this is sparked off Conor Clancy's article on ForzaTimeFootball.com where he said they were stupid or not. He didn't make the right decision in saying no to Napoli and staying at Bologna. So we want to chat about it because we've got differing opinions on whether or not,
and we genuinely have different opinions,
whether or not it was right to say no to the transfer. So Vieri, tell people kind of what the situation of what happened and how it came about and why we're here first. So what happened?
Well, Simone Verdi was Maurizio Sarri's first choice for an extra addition to the attacking lot at Napoli to play on the wings. He plays perfectly both on the left and on the right, and Sarri has managed him before at Empoli, so he knows him, they know each other, and he was pushing for Bologna's Verdi, who had a very good first half of the season. Hence why the offer was about 20-25 million euros.
All agreed, all accepted.
All agreed, all accepted. It was then down to the player to decide whether or not he wanted to leave Bologna mid-season, essentially, and join a Napoli side who are fighting, yes, for the Scudetto.
Top of the league. Yeah.
But it's always the same players playing. And Sarri doesn't like rotation, of course. So, well, what happens next? A discussion, a debate on whether or not someone like Verdi, who's 26 years old, made the right decision for his career, for his future.
And saying no to Napoli. Well, before we get into it, I think he made the wrong decision. I think he should have joined Napoli.
I think he made the right decision overall.
Right, so was it right to say no? This is where I kind of line up, right? Verdi's 25 years old, right?
26.
No, he's 25, 26 in July.
25.
He's 26 in July, right? So he's not a youngster anymore. He's kind of getting into the peak years of his career, right? He's been at Milan, didn't really make it. He's had loans, like I say, he was on loan at Empoli, played 70 games under Sarri. I think he had a loan at Carpe, a loan at Eibar. He could have almost been like one of those journeyman young players, right? Yeah. He's not really done anything until he joined Bologna in 2016, and I think he got 6 goals last season in 28 games. This season he's already got 6 goals, so he's equalled that. And I think it's the next natural progression for him. He's had game time under his belt. He's proved that he can be an effective player in Serie A. So the next logical step for me is go to a higher club, a higher level. Test yourself. If he thinks he's good enough, which he should do, if he's a footballer, he should be competitive at least. If he wants to win trophies, get medals, possibly even get into the national team on a kind of permanent basis, then I think he has to be playing at a top club, and well, obviously not this season Champions League, but next season Champions League football, or even just European football in general, testing himself against better competition. And I think he's not done that, and I think it would be detrimental to him. That's what I think. If he thinks he's good enough, he should go and test himself.
I think
against the best.
There's 3 points against this. First of all, he's
don't. I want you to say why you think he was right to say no first, well, then we'll get into
these are the reasons why. Okay. He's only been at the top of his game this season, so 6 months, and he could prove his worth on a longer period of time, once another half of the season, so a full season, perhaps get better offers. Then I wouldn't even be having this debate if the World Cup was on, because he just about made it to the national team just before Italy crashed out of the qualification. So he would need playing time to make it to the World Cup. That isn't an issue because Italy are not at the World Cup. We all know that. So in this case, we can actually talk about it. There is a point in him joining a club that wouldn't give him that much playing time. But at the same time, seeing as he knows Sarri, that is an advantage because it might take him less time to move into up in the hierarchy.
Get used to the tactics as well.
But we've seen that with players like Mario Rui. Valdi Fiori's never played at Napoli. So some of Sarri's main men at Empoli who got 0 to no playing time at Napoli. So yes, there is a point to be made that Verdi knows the tactics, but does that really make a difference to a manager, Sarri, who's got given 0 playing time to Giaccherini? Zielinski, Rog hardly ever playing.
To be fair, given 0 playing time to Giaccherini, that's all right.
But Giaccherini was doing very well at Bologna, ironically, beforehand. So I understand why Sarri is doing this. I'm not criticizing his method, especially if it will eventually lead to a Scudetto. But
what we've seen with Napoli, though, at the start of the season, is, like you said, he doesn't rotate very much. And I think the reason he wanted to bring Verdi in is so he could rotate a bit more. So he could give Cagliari and Insigne a break, because I think Insigne played 60 consecutive games.
Ideally, I think that's the case. But then what if Verdi doesn't get a chance to play and then he's loaned out?
It can move back to Bologna.
And then, I guess so. You could see what Pavoletti did. So Genoa, Napoli, Cagliari in no time.
Yeah.
I guess Verdi could do a similar kind of thing. But then you have to restart and it take longer. Whereas if he proves his worth within these 6 months that he's got left, maybe gets to 10, 15 Serie A goals by the end of the season, potentially he'll have a lot more offers in the transfer window, and he'll be a more mature player. And that's without mentioning life choices of wanting to stay in an atmosphere, in a place that obviously he enjoys, clearly, both from a football perspective and a life perspective. And it's difficult to leave in January with little notice. It's not that easy of a decision, of course.
I think it is.
Well,
I think it's right. Here's something then. Obviously, them saying though, what does it say about Napoli? Because your favourite player, Bernardeschi, was asked about this, and he said as soon as he knew Juventus were interested, he was there. He was gone. He'd left. Then he was like, I'm ready to go. But then Napoli, who are top of the league, Juve's biggest rivals, a big club in their own right, they should. You would think they would have the same pull. That if Napoli say they're interested, Verdi should be going, right, okay, let's go, see you later, Bologna. And he's not. Which kind of shows you, what does it say about the standing of Napoli? Because I think it says, well, yeah, they're all right just now, but they could be crap soon.
Possibly that, but I think it's more just looking at how many minutes the recent acquisitions by Sarri have made.
You think he's just looked at the players that have played?
I think that's the main thing, because otherwise, if pretty much it's like 12, 13 players playing. I think the ones we're looking at now, Goulam is out, so the starting 11, Goulam and Zielinski. Everyone else gets very little playing time, and that's players that have been paid a lot. Pavoletti, Maximovic, Tonelli, who have completely disappeared out of the radar. So Verdi doesn't want that to happen to him.
But then that says to me that he doesn't believe in his ability, that he doesn't think he's good enough to break into that first team. Because if I was a footballer and I was joining Napoli, I would think I'm good enough to get in that team. And that says to me that he doesn't think he's good enough to get in that team. And to be honest, I agree with him, because I don't think he is good enough to get in that team. And I think he probably knows that. That's maybe why he's not joined.
That's what I'm saying. He's only proved this level for 6 months. So we'll have to see if he can prove himself for a full season. Then he'll get more interest from other clubs as well.
Well, apparently, the rumour mill says, and the birds and the trees have been saying, apparently, this is very apparent, rumours, Juventus spoke to him and said that they're going to make a summer move for him, and said, don't join Napoli now, we're going to bid for you in the summer and then you can come to Juve. Apparently, this is just rumours that I've been hearing. So,
well, if
that tells you everything about Napoli.
Is the case, even more so to an extent. But staying to what we know for a fact, there's.
Well, you said he's going to. Well, hold on. You say the reason I brought that up is you said he's going to get offers. I mean,
potentially Juventus.
From where? Where else? Like Bayern Munich aren't going to buy him. Real Madrid and Barcelona aren't going to buy him.
No, but even
Man City aren't going to buy him.
Even
so it's like the only other Juve, and then where else? Roma. Napoli are as good as Roma. Milan, Inter.
Well, there's a lot of.
I mean, if he's going to stay in Italy,
middle to big clubs in Europe that could do with a.
But Napoli are a big club.
Yeah, but Napoli, there's the issue that he wouldn't be playing. So say Sevilla, Villarreal, even Tottenham, Arsenal. Maybe not Arsenal, but that kind of. Just below the top teams, want him as a fringe player. He could get in and have a shot. Just like the best example, I think, is someone like Alessio Cerci, who after a couple of good seasons at Torino
went to Atletico Madrid got fat, basically.
Came back after 6 months, but Atletico Madrid, who had just won La Liga, bought him. So I wouldn't say Atletico Madrid are a smaller club than Napoli right now. I'm not saying Verdi will end up there, but I'm saying there's a lot more options than just Napoli. And I think it's also proving to himself he can do a full season at the top level. I'm thinking 6 goals until now. Let him score another 6, 7, 8. Over, double digits, 12 goals.
Then he'll join Napoli in the summer.
Then he might join Napoli in the summer, perhaps, or even, Juventus renewed Inter. There's a lot more options than just leaving mid-season and maybe playing 3-4 games between now and the end, and perhaps have a Scudetto medal, but contribution almost zero.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. What would you rather have, medals or a good season? I'd rather have I want the gold, Vieri. I want the gold.
Maxwell is your ideal player, then.
Oh yeah, I'd be delighted if I was Maxwell. You've just got a trophy cabinet. And you were Ibrahimovic's mate.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the reason you've got all these trophies, right? So there you go. That's just kind of briefly put into words what we think and why we think he was right or wrong to do what he did. Let us know what you think. Do you think Verdi was right to reject Napoli? Do you think it will turn out to be a stupid decision? Do you think in the end it will turn out to be a good one and he'll go to Juve and win 7, 8 Scudetti in a row?
Yeah, of course. That's what they do.
So there you go. Tell the people on social media again.
Yeah, no, the conversation started on Twitter, referring to Conor Clancy's article. And
get involved
on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube. Support us on Patreon. We are everywhere.
And get a mug.
And get a Forza Italian Football mug.
It's lovely. My water tastes amazing out of this mug. Honestly, it's like gold water.
And don't forget to follow the FAF Cup, which is currently on Twitter.